All right, we're gonna go ahead and start our meeting. Call this meeting to order Tuesday, February 23rd, 2021. At this time, we'll have Ms. Thelma Stanifer of Mary Gospel Baptist Church to come and give us the invocation.
Yes, ma'am.
Good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
God is good and He's good all the time. Father in heaven, we are gathered here on this afternoon to take care of business that you have put us in charge of. And Father, we need your guidance as we go through this. Help us to understand that we are here for the education of our children, which is our future. Please, sir, let us be the men and women that we will be a role model to our children. And then, God, let us speak according to our parents so that they know that we are concerned about our children. Oh, God, as a board, help us to agree on things that are necessary for our school system, from the top office all the way down to the bottom. Every job is important. Every person is important. For we are all gathered here for the same purpose. And oh God, please, God, have mercy and bless our children, bless the teachers, just bless everybody. And God, we thank you. We thank you for this school year. You brought us through so many things, and we want you to know that we thank you, and we are sorry for the sins that we've done. But we come to you humble, asking you for all of these blessings. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Amen.
Ready for our pledge of allegiance? I pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, thank you very much for that. At this time, we'll have roll call.
Mr. Salisbury? Ms. Heinlein?
Present.
Mr. Wilson?
Present.
Mr. Berry?
Present.
Ms. Cooper?
Present.
Mr. Johnson? Ms. Greer?
Present.
President Berry, we have 5 present, 2 absent.
Thank you. Next item is item number D, the adoption of the agenda. Can I get a motion, please? Second. Motion been made by Ms. Heinlein and second by Mr. Wilson. All in favor say aye. Any opposed? With none being opposed, that motion passes. Recognition, I wanted to say recognition of the February, of course, is Black History Month. And I just wanted to recognize that this month is Black History Month. I know that there were not that many events going on because of the weather and things like that, but I do know that we always should recognize Black History Month and the contributions that were done to Black Americans. And I was going to say that if there are any coming pretty soon, I would encourage everybody to go to it. And also at Carroll Junior High School, if you go by there, you'll see pictures on the windows that identify some of the history-making people, not only in Monroe, but throughout the nation. So I wanted to bring that to our attention. And so the next item is item 3, presentation, proposed high school emergency medical technicians program at Carroll High School. And Dr. Green, we have someone from that outreach coordinator from the ambulance company.
Yes, Acadian Explorers represents this area right here, basically a lot of the south. Lauren Angelo Ramos is here tonight. We'll bring her forward.
Hi, guys.
Angelo, that's a Monroe name.
Is it?
Yes.
No way. So I'm actually, I don't know who to talk to. This is not ideal. So my name is Lauren Angelo Ramos, and I actually am a South Louisiana girl. I grew up in Lafayette, Louisiana. I went to LSU. I graduated from LSU and there were no jobs. The economy was shot. I looked everywhere, and Texas was hiring recent graduates. All they had to do is come across the border and go to teacher school. They taught teacher school while you were teaching your first year. And so I took a leap and I moved to the state of Texas. I moved to Fort Worth, Texas, started teaching high school just to have a job, essentially, and I ended up teaching for 7 years up there. And one thing that I found while I was a teacher was that so many of my students kind of had an idea of what they wanted to do, but had absolutely no idea how to get there. So often our students have interests, right? Like you can talk to a student, they'll have things that they're interested in, but they have no idea how to create a passion out of that, how to create a career out of that. And so I started working for Acadian almost 4 years ago now, which is wild to think that 7 years ago I was in the classroom and 4 years we're here today talking about what you can do to help us as a company get more students into this profession. And so I really just want to share that passion about what we're doing at Acadian and how Monroe City Schools can really be a part of that story, how this can change a pathway for your students as far as their education and their career opportunities. So a few things that we're doing at Acadian, and I'm going to go over each of these things. One thing that we'll do is we'll go to any high school. And so actually, I'm staying the night here in Monroe tonight because I'm spending tomorrow at West Monroe High School. I'm going to spend the whole day there with a classroom. We're bringing an ambulance. We're letting the students explore the ambulance. We're talking to them about career opportunities and educational opportunities. So any school in the parish, we're always willing to visit. We also run what's called Acadian Explorers. I'm also realizing my list gave me a bunch of ones and not a 1, 2, 3, 4, so let's just ignore that.
Because they're all good.
Acadian Explorers is a high school outreach program that we do, and we have a wonderful Explorers program here in Monroe. It's run by one of our paramedics up here, and this gives the opportunity for high school students to ride along on our ambulances, so they actually get on an ambulance, run an entire shift with an EMT and a paramedic, going all throughout the city and the parish, and seeing exactly what it is that we do, and we don't filter anything, so they're there with our employees. And then they also do a few other things. I'm going to get to it in a little bit, but I want to just kind of tell you what we're doing there. And then we do tuition assistance, and then lastly, we build high school EMT programs, which is what I want to talk to you guys about tonight. So these are just a few pictures of some of our high school visits. So like I said, we will bring an ambulance out. We bring helicopters out to our school and land them on school campuses. These are things that we've been doing in South Louisiana and in Texas for years, but we've only been in Monroe. We haven't even been here for 2 full years yet. So we're still starting to build relationships and really getting ourselves within the community and making our footprint here and making sure that schools and teachers know that this is something that we absolutely will do for them. So that's just one of the things that we do. Our Explorers, they work all local events. Now, obviously, as we mentioned earlier, there aren't many events going on right now, but then they also, so they can get patient care experience starting in high school, which if your students are interested to go to PA school or to medical school or any kind of schooling after undergrad that has to do with the medical field, those schools are looking for 2,000 to 4,000 patient care hours, which if a student worked full-time for an entire year, they're just barely going to hit 2,000 hours. So we start getting those patient care hours in high school so that they're not really having to cram all those in as soon as they graduate from undergrad. So that's an opportunity for them as well. They also have a monthly meeting where they come in, they learn basic life support. Our students become CPR certified. They learn different first aid techniques. So we really want them to be able to serve their community and to learn what it is that we do. If we can take a high school student in and we can either show them their passion and teach them, oh my gosh, this is what you love and this is what you were made for, right? And you need to pursue medicine, or we can take a high school student in and say, whoa, you are not interested in this at all. Let's find something else for you. Then we feel like we can truly make an impact in their life and help them see a little bit more about what their individual path should look like, right? So the next thing that we do is Emt Tuition Assistance, and this is something that we will do for your high school students right now. So obviously, if you have a student who is graduating this year, We don't have the opportunity to put them in an EMT class during high school because the year is almost over. So what Acadian will do is we will actually put them through school to become an EMT, and then they do a 2-year return of service. So we put them through EMT school, and then once they come and work for us, we put them through paramedic school. Our paramedics' average salary was over $60,000 this year up here in the Monroe area. So by the time they're 20 years old, they could be making over $60,000, and Acadian pays for the entire education part. So that's a really great thing that we offer our young people here in the city. And then lastly, building high school EMT programs. So in the state of Louisiana, a student can become an EMT while they are still in high school. They don't have to graduate in order to go to EMT school. So Acadian started thinking a few years ago, why the heck don't we encourage every school to do this? Because then they come to us out of high school, ready to work, and we can put them straight into college, into paramedic school, or they can go to college, they can work part-time. We can put them immediately in the action, getting paid, receiving benefits, working for a real career, and we can truly help our schools do that. So this is something that we help schools do. Some of the benefits to the school, so EMT is now a statewide advanced credential, which means it's worth 150 points to the school, and Acadian is now an SCA provider as well, so schools are able to use that SCA funding. We also build career-ready students. So when your student goes through an EMT program while they're in high school, they graduate with a legitimate certificate. So they can take that certificate, it's a national certificate. They can work here in the state of Louisiana, they can hop the border like I did and go work in Texas, or they can go to Hawaii and work as an EMT in the state of Hawaii. So it is a national certificate. It works in any state in the United States. And then, like I said earlier, Acadian will then pay for their paramedic school. So they get to advance and become a paramedic. We'll also then pay for their critical care licensing. We'll pay for any advancement that they make as long as they're working for us. We help to advance their career. Benefit to the student, career-ready opportunities, obviously. They're starting those patient care hours before they ever even go to college. And then EMT is obviously a launching pad. So when I went through EMT school, that was one of the first things I did with Acadian. I was overwhelmed at the amount of knowledge I received through that course. And you really get a base of knowledge for most things in the medical field. So they can take that EMT and they can go to nursing school, they can go to PA school, they can go to medical school, they can go to veterinary school. So they really have great opportunities once they get that EMT. It's a phenomenal launching pad. And it's also a safe place to learn. This is something I talked about earlier. If they decide, I'm not interested in this is awful, it's a safe place. You're in high school, you haven't invested money, you haven't invested your time, you're still young, you still have a great opportunity to learn. So this is our website for Acadian Explorers. I would encourage you to check us out. If you know any high school students who are interested in the medical field, send them our way. We can put them on an ambulance this month and let them start to experience that and see if emergency medicine is truly a career that they are interested in. Do I leave time for questions? Because I need to. Okay. Does anyone have any questions?
They can't.
I'd like to-
Oh, you guys. Okay, now turn.
Mr. Berry. This is an amazing program. It sounds great. And I think it fits well with our medical magnet program. I thought we had an EMT program already with the medical magnet, right? Who's doing that one?
Carol?
But I mean, is it provided through PHSC or who's doing the training for that?
The teacher, we have 2 certified nurses at Carroll and a certified teach staff, and this will allow us to feedback with again.
Okay, all right. So you're doing West Monroe, which is an art, that high school's not our
Correct.
system, obviously.
Yes,
So
yes.
you're working with them already, that's great.
Yes.
Yeah, I think it sounds great.
We're working with schools in almost every parish that we operate in. So our goal is to have, in every parish that we have an ambulance, we want a school, and we want to create hometown heroes right where our students are.
Thank you.
Yeah, no problem.
Yes, ma'am.
Mr. President, thank you. You said that you pay for their school.
Yes, ma'am.
Now, your own money, or are you securing federal grants?
For, as far as their EMT school, and their
Yes.
paramedic school, we use our own money, yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am, that's it, that is, if you have any federal grants, you can send our way, we'll look into it, but yeah, that's an investment that a company makes.
Oh, that's good. Well, listen, you, mentioned about the, Boy Scouts of America Explorer Career Search Program.
Yes, ma'am.
That's really what you're using.
Yes,
What
yes, yes,
other role will the Boy Scouts be playing in this? Any other role other than you just using their program?
we just use their program, yeah, and so the reason that we use, that's a great question, so exploring the Explorers part that we do, we are partnered through the Boy Scouts of America, or actually it's now called Scouting of America. And the reason that we partner with them is that they provide our insurance and our training. And sometimes we actually found out this year that we can use their campgrounds as well, but we have not done so yet because we haven't had many major events. But yeah, we really use them, that sounds terrible. We partner with them for their insurance and for their training because they're really great at those things. Great question, thank you.
Any other question, board member? Dr. Green?
No questions, was it?
Awesome,
Thank you.
thank you guys, thanks for having me.
Thank you. So, no
No action is
action.
necessary here. We are in the process of placing it.
Okay, thank you for coming. Next item,
I do have a question.
Travel.
With the certification, are the jobs automatic in your company? When they go through they got the certification, are the jobs automatically?
So what we require of our employees or of potential employees, they have to be 18 years old. They have to have been a licensed driver for 1 year. They have to pass a drug screen and a background check. And then we do interview them. So they're not automatic, but as long as they meet our criteria, yes, they can get hired.
Thank you.
No problem.
item number 4. Consent agenda, item A, Board of Education minutes, January 19th, 2021. Number B, affiliation agreement between the Monroe City School District, Carroll High School Medical Magnet, and Washita Healthcare and Rehabilitation Center. Number C, permission to advertise for bid for renovation of the junior high and high school bathrooms. Restrooms, I'm sorry.
Second.
Motion been made by Ms. Hainline and seconded by Mr. Wilson. All in favor by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? With no opposition, that motion passes. Okay, no consider items for consideration. Old business, name of Carroll High School Science Building in honor of Matthew H. Williams, Jr.
Make motion for approval.
Motion been made by Mr. Wilson, second by Ms. Hainline.
Are we gonna have discussion, any discussion needed on that item, or?
I don't think so. Any opposed? With no opposition, that motion passes. Okay, new business. The naming of Carver Elementary School Library in honor of Dr. LaVon Gunn Ford.
Make the motion for approval.
Motion has been made by Mr. Wilson, second by Mrs. Hainlines.
Is there anyone from the public who wanted to speak on the previous item or this one? Just wanted to
Ms. Law, Ms. Jacobs?
No one turned.
Okay, just making sure.
This did come through the facilities.
Yeah,
committee,
both of these items.
And they were approved through the, facilities committee meeting, and,
It was a great presentation. I felt it was very appropriate, especially for Black
The
History
video and all that.
Month, to learn all about this.
And this is part of our history, you know.
Yeah, it's really great.
And so, all in favor say aye.
Um,
Any opposed? With no opposed, that motion passes. The naming of the Barton Falk Elementary School Gymnasium in honor of Ms. Cleo Dunn.
So good.
second.
Motion made by Ms. Hainline, second by Mr. Wilson.
That was also through the facilities
Yeah.
committee and unanimously approved.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Seeing none, that motion passes. Reports. Reports and announcement, December 2020 financial report. Dr. Green.
All right, I'll do the board comments and report of superintendent together, report of superintendent financial reports together. As you know, the audit was scheduled to be on the agenda tonight. The auditor meeting got canceled last week, so he will get prior to the board meetings today. He will be here at the March board meeting. But I will tell you, we had the best audit we've had since I can remember in the longest time ever. We had no significant findings at all, so we're excited about that.
That's fantastic.
Which is good for us. On a second note, on superintendent comments, first thing is, I want to thank our two board members, Facility Chair Ms. Cooper, Facility Chair Ms. Neal, for the curriculum and facilities. Two great meetings, a lot took place in those. And then I also want to give a compliment to 3 of our cafeteria workers. This past weekend, I get a call on Friday night at 8 o'clock that 2 Greyhound buses are stranded. They're going to stay here overnight. They have nowhere to go. The interstate is shut down. They're placed at Marble Recreation Center, and they haven't eaten all day. So we got a call. 3 ladies, Miss Leslie Woods, the cafeteria manager at Carroll Jr., Miss Deborah White, one of the workers at Carroll Jr., and Savannah Miles from Jefferson, all stepped up, fed 85, 2 busloads of Greyhound bus passengers, 85 people, and everything's going on. So, we just picked up the phone, called Miss Weaver up. She was phenomenal getting those together for us. And they were so appreciative when they got the food and everything. Like I said, we gave them waffle, sausage, milk, juice, everything. It was great to see and watch. They were excited. Those folks will always remember Monroe, Louisiana, where they stayed. So it takes that great message out of Monroe. By 3 of our employees this week, we did cafeteria manager, cafeteria supervisor, cafeterias, and these 3 folks that stepped up to do that thing. So I can't say enough for those type of folks. Everything that took place Saturday and Sunday with our employees, getting our buildings ready to go. If you know, only 2 school districts were open. Monroe City, we were the first to say we're going to be open Monday. Some of them are still closed today as we speak. Across North Louisiana, we were very fortunate. Mr. Charles Monroe and Mr. Brian Spencer and their guys went out there Saturday, Sunday, actually Friday, made sure we were good to go. So we're excited about what took place, and we opened up without a hitch yesterday, which was great. On a next item, Clark Magnet School was selected to participate in the Amazon Future Engineers Program. It's a curriculum that provides to their students for 5th and 6th graders, teaching students about coding, software engineering, sketching. It's a 4-year program. I can't answer any questions because that's out of my realm, but I'll bring a 6th grader here next spring, and they'll be able to answer all the questions for you. Because they'll be a lot more savvy when I heard the word sketching. What is sketching? That's part of a computer process that they learn, they do. So it's exciting to know that. Third item before we close, before we close, our shots, our teachers will be, our entire staff will be available for shots this coming Tuesday. We started the process up for sign up for appointments. They will start Tuesday morning bright and early with primary health care. We've also spoke to Ochsner to provide shots for our teachers also with Ms. Beverly Lewis. Them giving an opportunity for us there also. We've also spoke to St. Francis about them, an opportunity given, because like I said, if whoever wants them, go get them. So we're trying to get outlets for all our employees to where they want to go to.
Dr. Green?
Yes.
I had a question. Again, we want to focus on our employees first, but I did get some calls from folks from outside of our school system. If teachers wanted to get shots, would they have to go to their local health centers to do so? Or
Not ours, only to our employees.
I understand. Just wanted to make sure. That was
And
There's vaccine sites that are listed.
Right.
Yes. And then also I met with Ms. Tenor from Primary Health Care over the last month, and we are exploring, this is the first stages of it, putting the grant together and exploring, but we're excited. We're trying to put another health center at Wasson High School in the field house, in the old field, take a portion of the old field house and turn it into a clinic. We've got just on the Wasson campus, we'll have about 1,000 kids. And if you look at Claro Hall, Jefferson, Carver, Burke Jones, all within a mile away. So we'll be able to service over 2,000 of our students at that Wasson location. Because as Ms. Jacobs and I had this discussion, Carroll High School is the north side school north of the interstate. So we put something at Washburn High School to service it. We're talking to Mr. Nori, it's great, we're close to it. In March, she will be here to announce that.
It's a great idea.
I just want to let you know that's one thing, the process going on. The last thing is, the Monroe Federation of Teachers, Ms. Lolly, and school employees have donated books to elementary and middle schools. Each school is going to receive 50 to 100 books. I've got books here, they're all ages. We've got them from the Mickey Mouse books, from pre-K to kindergarten, going all the way up to a level that's above my reading grade. You know, Lost in a Book and Enchanted Story. So we've got them all here. We're going to donate them. The Monroe Federation of Teachers is donating them to our libraries to promote the health of our students, because we know reading is the key. You know, the better you just say, it's the key, and it's the denominator that shows success in every area. You know, whether you talk about computer skills, but it still comes down to reading again. So Ms. Lolly and the association has donated books for all of our libraries, and also give some to students, because putting books at home, put them also at home. So we thank Ms. Lolly and the Federation for their donation of books. And with that said, that concludes our board superintendent comment.
Okay, we're down to, report from the board members. Ms. Greer, second.
Good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
I would like to give you all a report on our February 9th first facility meeting. Mr. Monroe, he updated us on all the work orders in the schools that's been completed and pending projects. Mr. Monroe and his staff have faced many challenges in 2020-21, as we know, with the hurricane, tornadoes, repairs, and even staff experienced the COVID-19. This year, just last week, freezing of the pipes. And I would just like to commend Mr. Monroe and his staff for working so diligent to get our schools up and going so our students could return to school safely and staff. And really, I would like to recognize all our staff and faculty for the work that they have done in the school system. On February 10th, we held our curriculum meeting, chairperson, Ms. Betty Cooper. And at this meeting, something stood out from Ms. Dr. Salisbury. She talked about parental involvement. What is it? What does it look like? So with that said, I would like to bring this to the table. Our next meeting we'll be having for parents, teachers, students to come out, and let's rethink school. Let's rethink what is parental involvement. Is it, me going to my child basketball game, or you don't have to redefine it as a district. So I'm looking forward for all input from the constituents, board members to be involved in us redefining parental involvement. Also, we have at the meeting, we also approved for the naming of Karen and Balkenfall, honoring two fabulous ladies, how they inspired and touched lives of our students, and not only students, their community. And I want to just thank God for them. Also, I have one more thing. It's about decision making. Every decision made might not be the right one to others, but it's the best one at that particular time. Thank you.
Mr. Wilson.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Berry. I thought the facilities meeting was a very good one, Mrs. Neal Greer. And I also wanted to point out that during the meeting, I'd asked a question to Mr. Monroe in terms of the hiring of minority and female workers, that we were, in fact, doing all we could to hire qualified minority and female contractors at every opportunity possible. He did confirm that that was the case, and we had a discussion about that, but I just wanted that pointed out that we are trying to do everything we can to work with our entire community. So thank you. That's it, Mr. President.
You got the wrong name down there, but Ms. Cooper, you got Brandon Johnson on there.
I'll make Brandon too. How about that? I want to report that on February 16th, that was a professional development day for our employees. And you know what last week was like? That was a Tuesday. But still, our teachers, paraprofessionals, they attended professional development. It was all done virtually. And I was able to attend several of the sessions, just zoomed in. And it was really a delight to meet the employees and from teachers to paraprofessionals and to see the trainers in action and other administrators that were leading various sessions. And the topics were all very good as well. And we know that, what we do in our school system, we're investing in our employees so that they'll have professional growth, because we know that's going to make a world of difference as they teach our children. So that was a really good day for me to get to interact with our employees. That's all.
Thank you. Ms. Hanline?
Thank you. Yes, I do want to thank Mr. Monroe, his team, Dr. Bedreen, your team, for responding to the latest unprecedented event in our community. You have certainly had to deal with more than I think any superintendent has had to in recent times. So thank you for your hard work and keeping everything going as much as you can. And also applaud Ms. Weaver and her team who stepped up to the call to help some citizens in need. I'm excited about PHSC expanding their services to Wasman. I think when we're looking at health equity and really looking at some of the impoverished areas in our community, that's a really crucial location as well. And then, I wanted to remind people too that there's free little libraries all over our community there's more and more popping up every day. There's a website you can go to find out where they are. I know there's one by the zoo. I looked for it, I couldn't find it, but I was looking by the park, so maybe it's closer to the zoo, but they're all over. There's one over on Hall Street downtown, the Children's Coalition. But people can take books and they can leave books. So for people who want to donate, that's a good location too. Your donation from the Federation, thank you for that. That's what reminded me of the little libraries too, that we want to do what we can to encourage reading. So thank you so much.
And we have a president of the library board on our board.
Really? I didn't realize that was good. That's it, yes.
Ms. Salisbury?
Echoing Ms. Weir's comments on our teachers and staff, definitely like to thank you for the sacrifices that you've been making. I like to see that the dreams already checked into that, to the things, the educational fund, stabilization fund. There was some monies out there. I know some of the municipalities have gotten to get to their workers, and so I hope Dr. Dream, which he have already checked into it. But hopefully we'll be able to give our workers some additional funding if possible. I also like to announce that Cypress Point has a Black History program. It's actually a Zoom program. It's 5:30 Thursday. And so it should, what I'll do is I'll post a Zoom meeting, maybe on Board Doc. I'm not familiar with any other schools that have any programs, but I know Cypress Point has one Thursday at 5:30.
Dr. Eric Wood, Athletic Director of Louisiana Tech, will be the keynote speaker.
That's it.
Okay, all right, thank you. I wanted to, before we close, I wanted to say a couple items for this year as the president, some of the areas that I wanted to focus on. One of them, the first one is dealing with the COVID and the safety and efficiency and work of and the moral and the morale of our employees. Then the second, I had teacher development. Third, I had student academic scores. Fourth, I had parental involvement. And then fifth, I had partnerships with the business community. So I'll be working on in those areas along with my board members, trying to do some of those things in the community. I wanted to say that I guess we have a lot of positive things going on in the district, and we want to continue to pray for all the people in the community, because we went through two storms, and we had a ice storm back to back like that, and I think most people have their lights now, but there may be still some that don't have their lights. We want to continue to pray for them and their families, so that they can, so everything will be okay. So that's all I have.
Mr. Berry?
Yes.
I just wanted to mention one more thing. I wasn't positive of the date until I just looked at it. But Ms. Weaver, who's headed up our student food services for 32 years, is retiring at the end of this month. So wanted to recognize her dedication, her long service, her leadership, not just locally, but also at the state level when it comes to food services. So thank you, Ms. Weaver, for all her hard work.
Even if she is a Mississippi State Bulldog,
That's all right.
that's okay.
All right. Okay. Future meetings, board meetings, March 16th and April 20th.
And one thing before we go, I want to let you know that I think y'all remember Miss Aisha Williams' granddaughter in the audience here tonight.
Oh yeah, Ms. Weaver.
To witness the name also. And also we have,
Yeah, Ms. Williams. Okay, yeah.
and also we have Miss Gunn Ford's daughter.
I think that's Mr. Williams. That's Matthew Williams.
No,
Oh, he's not.
that's
Okay.
her brother.
So both of my children.
Oh, okay, that's her children. Both her children, both
Okay, so-
children are here tonight also.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, y'all want to say anything? Since we talking, I wanted to say that, because it's Black History Month, if you look at some of the things, particularly Mr. Williams and Ms. Ford, the things that they've done in our community, I knew Ms. Ford, and the video that showed and all the things she was involved in was great. And Mr. Matthew Williams, it was kind of before my time, but I talked to a lot of people and some of the things he did, working with Mr. Henry Carr to bring Carroll High School to where it was as a curriculum. He also was principal at Carroll Junior High School, and then he went to the Central. He was the first Black to come to the Central office, and he did such a great job, and we just appreciate all the services that they've done. And would y'all just want to come up for a minute and have some thoughts to the board, on this great honor? We basically what I'm saying is we can't honor y'all loved ones enough, but we can only show a small thing to show the appreciation of what they've done for our community.
Thank you. I wasn't going to speak or say anything because I'm grateful. In spite of, I'm grateful because my grandmother has lived to see it. My grandmother is going on 94 years old, and we're so thrilled that she's actually moved back here. So we're happy that she's home. So part of this welcome home celebration, I'll be able to go home this evening and tell her that as well, what you all have done in honor of her husband and my grandfather. So we're truly, truly grateful. I was so excited when I walked in and saw Dr. Laverne Dunford's children tonight, and I was looking forward to seeing what pressed them to come. When I saw their mother's name, I was so excited because my grandmother got a chance to work alongside with their mother. And so it's just a beautiful thing to see both of these families honored, recognized, and given such accolades in this great community. So thank you all. You all have done something tonight that has made a huge impact on Monroe City. So thank you all so much. You just don't know, I got so much love for Monroe City now. We'll talk about that later. I do have, and I always have, but it has really drawn out some more things in me. And I've even talked with Ms. Betty Cooper about those things. So thank you all for the hard work. Thank you all for what you're doing, and kudos to you. Keep up the great work. Thank you.
Congratulations.
Good afternoon, good evening, everybody. I just want to say a couple of words about my mother, Dr. Vernon Ford. She started out, as long as I can remember, basically stressing the importance of education to me. At first, I grew up, I wanted to be a medical research scientist until she got a position at Harvard Elementary as a law person. And at that point in time, I took up coaching, I was still a high school student, and I took up coaching baseball and football at her school, just trying to help out. And that changed my mindset to become a teacher, like my father, Jerry Ford, and my mother. And I took up teaching. I got my first opportunity to teach in Monroe City School at our high school. And I thank her for that. She touched so many lives throughout, just not only this city, but throughout the state. So we just want to appreciate, we really appreciate the sentiment of naming the Carver Elementary library after her. And it really brought tears to my eyes when I found out that this was going to come to fruition. I just want to thank you guys for making that a reality.
Congratulations.
Come on, Laura got one more thing, we'll give you that.
Okay.
Ma'am, could you introduce yourself, please?
Lauren Jacobs, Monroe City School Board Officer.
Yeah, okay. And we do plan on having some events at the school for in their honor. So the principal will be getting in touch with you.
Good morning, good afternoon in the office. I'm Stacey from Barton Park, and Miss Kelly and I are here to represent Miss Clear Dunn.
Okay.
Her son was from Dallas and couldn't get here. He tried, it was under a flight. He missed it, so he hates it, and we put together a video of why she is so deserving. So just enjoy this.
It's stuck.
It's not.
Everyone.
Try alt tab. Alt tab.
I did it.
Okay, who's the guru? Is there a computer guru in the house?
Hello, sixth graders when you need them.
I told y'all the book was above my eyes, sir.
Let me see if I can get a mouse.
Yeah, Jennifer, the guru.
I could get the cursor to move.
There it is.
You have it?
There's that.
Well, thank y'all. Now we can move.
Maybe you can post it to board
Yeah.
docs later.
Educator turned songwriter Cleoria Dunn wrote the song I Can Learn after being the first in her immediate family to graduate from college at the age of 34.
It was hard.
It was hard at the beginning, because first of all, I had to believe.
Dunn is well aware of the challenges students may face while pursuing an education, and says her personal struggles are what led her to create the words to the song.
I had to live through those years, you know, the hurt, the despair, all of that. But I was able to pull it back together with an education.
Today, she dedicates her time teaching the song to students as a tool for motivation that anything is possible if they just believe.
It started happening for me, you know, so I would tell anybody, they got to take the first step.
Dunn wants children to know that it is not about how you begin the race, but all in how you finish it.
And when they move toward that goal, it's gonna get easier and easier and easier.
In the end, Dunn says she wants the song to have a lasting impression on children as they are encouraged to fight to the finish line inside the class.
When they get back in that classroom and they're faced with the challenges of reading, writing, science, hopefully they will remember the song. Hopefully the lines will come back and they'll begin to sing it in their minds, because if you say it enough, they'll begin to believe it.
The song was recorded and will be released and sold at a later date. Profits will be used toward the expansion of Dunn's message to children nationwide. In Monroe, Nikita Turner, KNOE 8 News.
We all get done with so much more.
That's fine.
I'll post it to board docs.
Thank you.
Anything else?
Motion to adjourn, Mr. Berry?
It's been made, seconded. We're adjourned. Thank you. Thank you. Come on.
How are you?